Hello, Map Business Online users. We're going to take a look at map territory map adjustments that you can make to your territory map. And this is in keeping with a blog that I'm publishing today. So first of all, when you're looking at the map and data, which we talk about in the blog, is right here. That's the key for a lot of territory adjustments. And you might shut that map and data, and you can always open it with that little button right there. Another point of just order here, there's the data window up here on the master toolbar that lets you open up any data views that you might have established using uh, Map Business Online. So those are two key boxes. You'll also notice we have a legend on the map, and that legend is entirely adjustable as well. So you've got the ability to click that little edit gear and go in and decide I don't want to show my state and province layer on that particular legend. And so you can update that. If you happen to lose the legend, just so you see, I'm going to click Show Map Legend and it'll be gone. So now we've got to get it back. Where is my legend? Over here in Map Data, you have map options. And here you've got Edit Legend. There's an Edit Legend button right there, and that allows you to bring back that legend. Just click Update Map Legend, and there it is back again. So back to map and data, I'm just going to close the overall map options button on map and data. And instead, I'm going to move my cursor down to the territory layer, and we're going to do some editing here of this territory. So I've created a territory. It's based on zip codes. I've named it Territory 1. All of that's pretty easy to do, and there's other videos that describe it, that territory creation process. But what I'm going to do is hover over my territory layer, click the Edit gear, and that brings up a General tab right there. And that General tab, you can see I've got my line, which is really my boundary for my territory, and I could adjust that. I could make it thinner. I can change the color to red if I want to. So I'm clicking into these options and changing things. So let's go back to darker blue and make it thicker. Next, I have this ability to hide internal boundaries. Internal boundaries in this case are zip codes. They could be counties, they could even be states for a really large territory. But we can hide those internal boundaries by clicking the Hide Unhide button just there. So if you had the territory um, set up so that you were showing all the internal boundaries for the zip codes that make up that territory, it would show that way. And then if you click the hide internal boundaries, then now all you've got is the zip codes behind the actual map. And that you can actually change just like you do the territory button. So if we go down to the zip code layer, which we're going to click down here, and we can uncheck it. And you can see in the zip code layer, you've also got the ability to change your background colors, your boundary colors, your fill colors. So let's go back to that territory layer. Now I'm in the territory general tab again, and I have a fill button here, which allows me to to change and adjust the transparency of my territory. So if I have the fill checked on, I've got color there. So there's my light blue. And if I have the fill checked off, the internal color of my territory goes away. There's no fill in that particular case. And I can adjust the transparency of that fill, make it opaque, or make it pretty transparent. So that gives you a lot of options for actually color coding your territories. And if you have multiple territories, you can color code them based on a scheme with the color code territory layer. So you could do it based on demographic data. This is good for territory balancing. That's all in that button where you can go in and decide how you're going to color shade your territories based on some sort of a scheme, some sort of data approach. Um, then we've got the label button on the right, that label tab. So here you can go in and format your territory label. Let's go back out a second. So if I click that closed, you'll see we've got font, bold. So I don't really have a lot of font options here, but I can make it larger, and I can change it from not bold to italics and back again. There's a little shade you can put there to add a little shadow to your label, and then you've got the centering. So I could center it. Really, this particular label doesn't matter whether it's to the right or to the center. But further formatting is available under this function. Let's just go back and make sure I show you that. Format labels. Under general here, we can go down and pull in information from data that we've imported or from demographic data. I'm going to put a little bit of text there. So I'm accessing my demographic data in Map Business Online, and I'm throwing population into my label. We've got 5 flexible fields we can add to our territory label. Once that's done, there it is. Now we have territory with population, and now actually that centering function might actually be nice to have in our territory label. So I'm just going to click the edit gear, and I'm going to go to label, and I'm going to make that centered. Click closed. Now you could also adjust the territory from this label itself. So if you select the label, it brings up a little toolbar, and you've got the ability to do some work on adding zip codes to the territory or subtracting zip codes from the territory. That's what that little blue puzzle piece always means. So if you're out there and you want to select a zip code here and add it to the territory, you go through that process. There's your territory here. So I've clicked add to, and there's my territory. I can click edit. And in this case, it'll be a little bit odd because it'll be up here. You can see I click over there into the ocean, so I can unselect, selecting that zip code. And there it is, added to that territory. And that lets me show you that there is an undo button up here. So I could undo that process. Going back to selecting the label, there's a search button, so I can search for data within my territory. There's a summarize button, which lets me create a little spreadsheet of information from my demographic library. So I've got a little demographic data set that I've created. I can export that and get that out of the application and use it in a third-party tool. I can zoom in really fast and then come back. Or this button here would let you access the color of the territory. So I could change that label background if I wanted to. And again, it's got that same old territory label functionality, and I'll just abandon the center of the label, and we'll see what it looks like when we get back here. Yeah, see, it's shifted it to the left. And let's go back and just fill. You can see the fill changing in the background, the fill of the territory. It's kind of hard to see because we have the transparency on, but it does have some functionality here where you're changing this color, and that's adjusting this background really fast. Those are things that are used, those are tools in Map Business Online that are used to adjust your territory to get it just the way you want it, with a look and feel that matches your particular need for your customers. Go to mapbusinessonline.com and take our free trial.